Welcome to the SmartKeys podcast. Right now, your brain is generating ideas at about, I don't know, 400 words per minute. But your fingers,
Oh, they are maxing out at maybe 40 on a good day.
exactly, yeah, 40. You are basically mechanically bottlenecking your own brilliance. So today, we are fixing that.
They really are.
We are diving into this comprehensive new resource published on smartkeys.org. It's by Felix Römer, and it's titled Work Faster with Voice Dictation.
It's a fantastic read.
It really is. And the mission for this deep dive is to help you, the modern professional, realize that turning your speech into text, well, it's no longer just some clunky novelty or a smartphone gimmick.
Right, like we used to think of it.
Yeah, exactly. It has evolved into a vital strategic tool for the future of work, especially when we are all just so overwhelmed by inbox backlogs, endless status updates, and honestly repetitive physical strain.
The physical toll is huge.
Okay, let's unpack this. Typing out every single thought when you have modern dictation tools is like walking a marathon when there's a sports car idling in your driveway, your own voice.
That is exactly it. I mean, the human brain simply doesn't natively think in keystrokes.
Right. No.
It thinks in concepts and language. And what this deep dive will reveal, by looking closely at Romer's research, is the incredible spectrum of tools available to just bypass that manual translation entirely.
Which is so freeing.
Right.
Right.
You will explore the highly capable built-in options sitting on your devices this very second, all the way up to these specialized AI powerhouses.
And most importantly, we're going to examine the underlying mechanisms, like why shifting to a speech-first workflow provides such a massive competitive advantage for you right now.
Absolutely.
So I want to start by looking directly at the practical reality already sitting on your desk, because according to the article, you don't even need to open your wallet to start walking away from the keyboard.
You really don't. The built-in stuff is amazing.
Let's look at the Apple ecosystem first. If you are on a Mac, an iPhone, or an iPad, Apple Dictation and voice control are just they're built right into the operating system.
Right there in the settings.
Yeah, on macOS, you literally just go into your keyboard settings, enable dictation, and trigger it with a simple shortcut. But the text specifically highlights a feature called enhanced dictation, and it says it works completely offline.
It does, yeah.
But wait, how does that actually function without an internet connection? I thought all this stuff was cloud-based.
Well, it downloads the core recognition engine locally, like directly onto your device's hard drive.
Oh, the actual engine.
Exactly.
But
Those
there's-
complex mathematical models that map sound waves to text. Normally, voice software has to package up the audio file of your voice, send it to a massive cloud server farm, process it against billions of data points, and then beam the text back.
Which takes a second or two, right?
Right, and it requires a connection. But by storing that engine locally, enhanced dictation cuts the cord entirely. You can draft complex documents on a flight with terrible Wi-Fi or, in a train going through a tunnel.
And you never lose your momentum.
Exactly. And the best part is it allows you to input custom vocabulary.
Oh, that custom vocabulary piece seems crucial because, if you work in pharmaceuticals and you're trying to dictate a memo about, say, buprenorphine.
Good luck with that on a standard engine.
Right. A standard engine is just going to type out buprenorphine, which just creates a massive editing headache.
Yeah, so you teach the local engine your personal business dialect. You map the specific phonetic sound you make to the exact specialized spelling you require.
That is so smart. And for the Windows crowd, it's just as seamless, right? The article highlights Windows voice access.
Yes, very easy to use.
You just hit the Windows logo key plus the letter H, Windows plus H, and a little gray microphone box pops up at the top of your screen.
And you can just start talking.
Yeah, you can dictate into an email, a Word document, a presentation, whatever. But the text mentions this uses Microsoft's Azure speech services. What does that actually mean for the everyday user?
So Azure is Microsoft's global cloud computing platform. When you use Windows Voice Access, you are tapping into an online, cloud-based recognition engine.
Ah, so unlike the offline Apple example.
Right, exactly. But because of that, this engine is incredibly dynamic. It actively adapts to your specific voice, your cadence, and your accent in real time.
Oh, wow. So it gets better over time.
It does. Because it has the processing power of Microsoft's server farms behind it,
Yeah.
it learns to become more accurate the more you use it. And, because it's deeply tied into the Microsoft ecosystem, the integration with Microsoft 365 is just incredibly fluid.
So you can navigate entirely hands-free.
Completely hands-free.
That's amazing. We also have to mention Google, obviously. For the Google ecosystem, Gboard is the standard for mobile. It's native to Android, easily downloaded on iOS. It is incredibly fast for capturing quick notes.
Oh, I use Gboard all the time on my phone.
Same. And then when you sit down at your desk for the heavy lifting, you open Chrome, go into Google Docs, click Tools, and select voice typing.
Yeah.
But I actually have to push back a little here.
Oh, okay, let's hear it.
Because I've tried using voice to text to write complex emails before, and I usually spend more time fixing the awkward formatting and the run-on sentences than I would have spent just typing it manually.
That is a very common complaint.
Right. So if these built-in tools from Apple, Microsoft, and Google are completely free, why would any professional bother paying a monthly subscription for a specialized dictation app? It seems like the core transcription problem is already solved.
What's fascinating here is that while those built-in tools brilliantly remove the initial friction of entry, they only solve the transcription problem, not the formatting problem.
Oh, I see.
They represent the foundational layer of voice technology. Standard dictation is essentially like a digital court stenographer. It types exactly what you say, including your ramblings, your mistakes, and your ums.
Which I say a lot.
We all do. And for a casual user drafting a quick reply, that is totally sufficient. But for the heavy user whose core output is professional text, the true scalability lies in software that actively manages structure.
Which the free tools just don't offer.
Exactly. They simply do not offer that level of control.
Okay, so it's the difference between having someone just write down your words and having an assistant who actually organizes them for you. Let's look at how the pro-grade software solves that formatting nightmare.
Let's do it.
The article dives deep into Dragon by Nuance. Now, this is a serious financial commitment. The mobile version is about $15 a month, and the desktop licenses run anywhere from $200 to $500.
It is definitely an investment.
Yeah, so where is the return on investment for that kind of price tag?
Well, the ROI is targeted at professionals who spend hours every single day generating long-form, highly technical content. Think lawyers, medical professionals, or researchers.
People doing heavy drafting.
Right. Dragon pays for itself through features like deep macro controls. A macro is just a shortcut that automates a repetitive task. And Dragon offers a specific macro feature called auto text.
Wait, how does auto text differ from just normal dictation?
So you can train the software so that a single spoken trigger phrase instantly expands into a massive, predefined block of text.
Really? Just from one phrase?
Yeah. You could say insert client onboarding clause, and the software instantly drops 4 perfectly formatted paragraphs of legally approved boilerplate text into your document.
Oh, wow. So you speak 4 words and the software generates 400.
Exactly. It drastically cuts down on repetitive typing and results in standardized drafts with 0 formatting required.
Here's where it gets really interesting, though. Dragon is clearly the heavyweight champion for exact, specialized transcription. But the article introduces this new wave of AI-enhanced tools, things like Letterly and voice notes.
These are game changers.
Yeah. If standard dictation is the court stenographer, AI tools like Letterly act more like a chief of staff. They listen to your messy brainstorming and synthesize it into a polished, actionable brief.
That mechanism is the fundamental shift in this industry right now. Tools like Letterly, which by the way has tiers starting at $12.90 a month, they do not just map sound waves to a dictionary.
Right, they do much more.
They use large language models, the exact same technology behind modern AI chatbots, to understand the semantic intent of your audio.
So it actually understands the underlying meaning of your rambling.
Yes. It strips the filler words, it groups the related ideas together, and it mathematically predicts the clean structure you intended to write.
That is wild. You can literally feed it a stream of consciousness rant, and it outputs a clean bulleted list, a formal outline, or even a perfectly structured social media post.
Really is magic.
And then there's voice notes, starting at $9.99 a month. The article notes it excels at meetings by capturing speech and automatically producing concise meeting minutes. But the magic seems to be in what happens after the meeting.
Right, the post-meeting workflow. It utilizes a process similar to retrieval augmented generation, turning your raw audio into an interactive database.
Meaning you can actually talk to it.
Yeah, you can literally chat with your own meeting notes. You don't have to read through a 10-page transcript. You simply prompt the interface. You type or say, what did the client say about the Q3 budget constraints?
And it just knows.
The software scans the semantic meaning of the entire meeting and fetches the exact insights, pulling out actionable items instantly.
You are quite literally interviewing your own data. That is unbelievable. Now, before we move away from the software landscape, the article briefly mentioned a tool called Speech Texter.
Yes.
It's a free browser tool utilizing Google's engine, and it supports over 70 languages. But what stood out to me was that it allows you to export your custom punctuation commands as a JSON file.
This is a really cool feature. Think of a JSON file as a digital recipe card. It is a very simple, lightweight data file.
Okay, a recipe card.
By exporting your custom commands into this format, you can hand that digital recipe to anyone else on your team. Their computer instantly knows how to load your exact setup.
Oh,
Meaning you can share highly specific workflows across an entire international department without anyone having to program the commands from scratch.
so if you handle borderless workflows, it's just a fantastic tool to keep in your back pocket.
Absolutely.
Okay, so now that we have covered the tools from the built-in freebies to the massive AI editors, we need to talk about the human execution. How does incorporating this tech practically change a Tuesday afternoon? Why does making this shift actually matter for a professional's bottom line?
Well, the data rumor cites is staggering. It shows that dictation cuts typing time by 50 to 80% for long-form content.
80%.
Up to 8, yeah. But the strategic value isn't just about speed. It is about your cognitive RAM.
Cognitive RAM.
Yes. Your brain has a limited amount of working memory. Every single time you type, a background process in your brain is constantly translating the thought, I want to make a point about strategy, into the physical command, move left index finger to the S key.
Right, your brain is doing two things at once.
And that translation task drains your cognitive processing power.
It's like having way too many browser tabs open in your mind.
Precisely. Voice dictation closes that background translation out. By removing the mechanical bottleneck of the keyboard, you free up massive amounts of mental bandwidth.
That makes total sense.
You redirect that energy toward higher value problem solving and creative thinking. You stop acting as a human typewriter and start acting as a true director of your ideas.
And we cannot ignore the physical benefits. I mean, carpal tunnel, repetitive strain injuries, the general fatigue in your hands, wrists, and shoulders from being hunched over a desk for 10 hours a day.
It's a real problem for modern workers.
Dictation drastically reduces that physical toll. You can actually stand up, pace around your office, and brainstorm out loud. It makes computing ergonomic in a way a physical keyboard never will be.
It really does. And there's also a critical corporate layer to this data security.
Oh, right, of course.
When businesses look at adopting these highly efficient AI tools, privacy is often the major roadblock. Sending proprietary ideas or client confidentiality to a third-party cloud server is a massive risk.
Yeah, IT departments hate that.
Exactly. This is where those offline engines we discussed earlier, like Apple's enhanced dictation or the desktop version of Dragon, become essential. Because the processing happens entirely on your local machine, sensitive company data remains entirely private. You get the speed of voice without compromising security protocols.
That is a massive point for anyone dealing with NDAs or health information. But let's get down to the reality of day one. Because the first time you try to dictate a complex email, it feels incredibly awkward. You just stare at the blank screen and you freeze.
The dreaded blank screen freeze.
Yeah, so how do you avoid that? The article outlines some vital best practices for setting up your environment. First, hardware matters. The text strongly recommends using a good quality external microphone.
It is non-negotiable, really. The entire system relies on the signal-to-noise ratio. Relying on a cheap, built-in laptop microphone in a noisy open-plan office, well, it just introduces too much auditory garbage into the signal.
Right, the engine gets confused.
The software will struggle, resulting in a transcript full of errors. Investing in a directional microphone ensures the engine only hears your voice. Better input equals fewer edits, which equals actual time saved.
Next is the delivery. You don't have to shout, but you need to enunciate clearly and keep a steady, natural pace. The engine needs to hear the distinct breaks between words to map them correctly.
Which takes a little practice.
It does. And perhaps the most unnatural part, you have to dictate your formatting. You can't just talk in one endless run-on paragraph. You have to literally speak the structural commands. You have to say new line or comma or select that.
If we connect this to the bigger picture, mastering those simple commands is the threshold you have to cross to actually shift your workflow.
Right.
When you use dictation properly, you shouldn't be staring at the screen, watching every single word appear, stressing over a minor typo.
Which is what everyone does at first.
Exactly. You are shaping the broad structure of your ideas at the speed of thought. You talk through whole sections, getting the architecture of your argument down first. Only later do you touch the keyboard to refine and polish the exact wording.
You use your voice for the heavy lifting of the draft, and the keyboard acts purely as a fine-tuning instrument. I love that.
It's a much better way to work.
It really is. And this brings us to a challenge for you listening right now. The article provides a fantastic, highly practical next step. Pick just one built-in app we discussed today. Use Apple Dictation on your Mac, use Windows Voice Access with Win plus H, or just fire up Gboard on your phone.
Start small.
Exactly. Pick one and use it exclusively for your short, routine messages and daily emails for just one single week. Do not try to write a complex manifesto. Just handle the routine stuff. Measure the productivity gains. I guarantee you will be shocked at how much cognitive energy and time you get back.
It is a small behavioral shift that yields massive returns on your daily output. And as you conduct that one-week experiment, I want to leave you with a final thought to consider, building on Römer's research into these AI layers.
Let's hear it.
If AI and advanced dictation tools are rapidly making the traditional keyboard optional, how is this conversational interface going to fundamentally alter the architecture of our office spaces?
Oh, wow. That's a great point.
What happens to the concept of the open plan office when our primary, most efficient way of interacting with software becomes an active spoken dialogue rather than a silent series of keystrokes? Will we see a return to private, acoustically isolated workspaces simply so we can talk to our machines?
So what does this all mean? It means the sports car is idling in the driveway and it's time to start talking to your computer. Thank you for tuning in to the SmartKeys podcast. If you found this deep dive valuable, please make sure to subscribe so you never miss a deep dive. And we highly encourage you to read Felix Römer's full original article. It is packed with even more insights, specific setup guides, and practical workflows. You can find the direct link to it right down there in the show notes. Go click it, read it, and start speaking your mind.